Family and friends of Brett and Lisabeth, welcome to their wedding ceremony this afternoon at the waters in Oshkosh, on the most happiest and beautiful of days. In this place, we take ourselves out of the usual routines of daily living to witness a unique moment in the lives of Lisabeth and Brett, and today they join their lives in the union of marriage. A wedding day is often a day when couples miss family members no longer with them. And for Lisabeth and Brett, there are friends and family members whose memories they hold dear. Over the years, along with close friends, Brett has lost 3 great-grandmas and his Aunt Jackie to a courageous battle with cancer. He keeps those valuable lessons and memories they have shown him in hand, and he misses them all very much and finds that they are always in his heart and mind. Lisabeth also has some grandparents who are important people in her life, and in their memory today, she is wearing Grandma Audrey's ring and as something blue, as well as a Grandma Marianne as something old. May the memories of these loved ones brighten this day and warm your hearts. It is also a time to remember to let the people present in your life, let them know how much you love them and show them how much they mean to you. And so, it is that Brett and Lisabeth present themselves to be married today, surrounded by the people they love the most. And at this time, we will go into our readings. Our first reading will be done by Brett's godmother and aunt, Melissa Ryan.
How Falling in Love is Like Owning a Dog by Taylor Molly. First of all, it's a big responsibility, especially in a city like Oshkosh. So think long and hard before deciding on love. On the other hand, love gives you a sense of security. When you're walking down the street late at night and you have a leash on love, ain't no one going to mess with you. Because crooks and muggers think love is unpredictable. Who knows what love could do in its own defense? On cold winter nights, love is warm. It lies between you and lives and breathes and makes funny noises. Love wakes you up all hours of the night with its needs. It needs to be fed so it will grow and stay healthy. Love doesn't like being left alone for long, but come home and love is always happy to see you. It may break a few things accidentally in its passion for life, but you can never be mad at love for long. Is love good all the time? No. Love can be bad. Bad love, bad. Very bad love. Love makes messes. Love leaves you little surprises here and there. Love needs lots of cleaning up after. Sometimes you just want to get love fixed. Sometimes you want to roll up a piece of newspaper and swat love on the nose. Not so much to cause pain, just to let love know, don't ever do that again. Sometimes love just wants to go out for a nice long walk. Because love loves exercise. It will run you around the block and leave you panting, breathless, pull you in different directions at once, or wind itself around and around you until you're all wound up and you cannot move. But love makes you meet people wherever you go. People who have nothing in common but love stop and talk to each other on the street. Throw things away and love will bring them back, again and again and again. But most of all, love needs love, lots of it. And in return, love loves you and never stops.
And our second reading today will be read by Lisabeth's sister-in-law, Annie Kotenberg.
You have known each other from the first glance of acquaintance to this point of commitment. At some point, you decided to marry. From that moment of yes to this moment of yes. Indeed, you have been making commitments in an informal way. All of those conversations that were held in a car or over a meal or during long walks, all those conversations that began with, when we're married, and continued with, I will, and you will, and we will. All those late night talks that included someday and somehow and maybe. and all those promises that are unspoken matters of the heart. All these common things and more are the real process of a wedding. The symbolic vows that you are about to make are a way of saying to one another, you know all those things that we've promised and hoped and dreamed? Well, I meant it all, every word. Look at one another and remember this moment in time. Before this moment, you have been many things to one another: acquaintance, friend, companion, lover, dancing partner, even teacher, for you have learned much from one another these past few years. Shortly, you shall say a few words that will take you across the threshold of life, and things between you will never be quite the same. For after today, you shall say to the world, this is my husband, this is my wife.
And our final reading will be from 1 Corinthians chapter 13. Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. It does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no records of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. But where there are prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be stilled. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away. And now these three remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. All right, we're flying through this ceremony, and I haven't really introduced myself yet. And I'm Jack Canuck, and yes, a part-time weekend officiant of weddings I am, but my full-time job is as principal of Richmond Elementary School, and where Lisabeth is a teacher of mine. I don't want anyone to think that I require my staff to, pass through me before they can get married. So they did ask me, and I'm very honored. Now, I do want to share a side story before I get to my part of it. And it's really the first time that I kind of met, I guess kind of met is the phrase, kind of met Brett. And it was when he was trying to break into my school. And he ended up getting in the school. I don't know how, maybe the front door, I don't know. But I did one of those to the secretary, like, who's this guy? He came in with this floral arrangement. She's like, I think that's Lisabeth's boyfriend. All right, I'm no Sherlock Holmes, but there were a couple things. First of all, he's young. He had flowers, and I knew he screwed up somehow, some way. All right, here's what happened. He canceled out at the last second on a Richmond holiday party that he should have attended with Lisabeth to join his buddies at a Bucks game. Now, I have not held that against him, because there is a Milwaukee Brewers game that I could have been at this afternoon, but I didn't want to return the favor to him. But this is a part of the ceremony where I like to share a little bit, my reflection on marriage. And I am been married over 20 years, so I think I have something to say. But admittedly, and I'm sure my wife will back this up, I'm also one of those guys who's learning on the job, and that's really what marriage becomes. But I've done a lot of weddings, and I don't think I've seen two people invest so much into trying to make sure that the words and the meaning and everything about this celebration reflected what they wanted. And it was kind of through these words where I wanted to be like, I'll focus some of my thoughts on this, and I want to go back to their readings. And I'll start back at, they choose 1 Corinthians 13, and it's an often cited biblical verse. And it means as much today as it did the centuries before, as it was written by the Apostle Paul. But those first 6 words, I think, just hit on the requirement of marriage. Love is patient, love is kind. Patience. The fact that you are marrying another human being means, by definition, you are marrying someone very imperfect. That's just the way it is. You are going to go to bed some nights just shaking your head about something that they did. But love is patient. You know you were going to let them make a few bad decisions before you melt down. You might even think that decision they made is one of the worst ideas ever, but it makes them happy because you remember that love is patient. And love is also kind. And I can, just tell from these two that they understand that. But it is truly the simplest, most important little piece of advice. Just be kind. It costs very little. And this was a quote, direct quote that Lisabeth had on Brett. He's a funny, kind, sweet man. And Brett said this about Lisabeth. She's patient and understanding with my lack of focus. Brett, don't lose that kindness. Lisabeth, don't lose that patience, and share that kindness and patience with each other. Now, they chose for their second reading Robert Fulghum's Union, and my favorite part of that Fulghum's Union reading is his description of this natural progression, because you understood this. Acquaintance, friend, companion, lover, dancing partner, and of course even teacher. But it just speaks of this idea that your relationship continues to morph into something and it redefines itself over time. You're about to go into this next step as husband and wife. What you become after this is really in your hands. But please understand, we don't really lose those titles that he talked about because you still need to be that friend. You still need to be that companion, that dancing partner, yes, and even lover. But you're just adding titles. You become something different, something even more wonderful. Now, the final reading, I will tell you, is the first time I have ever heard it at a wedding. And of course, how falling in love is like owning a dog. And it wouldn't fit every wedding. Did we lose it? All right. It fits perfectly, obviously, into this. Because obviously this love of the furry friend brought some people closer together. Now, I'm not sure if they know this, but Louis truly is the being that can give you the best advice for marriage. So I'm going to end with some lessons from Louis that he's been trying to teach you to have a good marriage. First of all, be excited to see each other. Now, when you walk into any door, who is the first person or first one to greet you? It's almost a guaranteed, I'd assume, that it is Louis. And there's an excitement like he hasn't seen you for 10 years, and it might have been 10 minutes. Be like Louis. Appreciate each other at the end of a long day. And now, we don't want you to be so excited that you leave a mess on the floor or anything like that. But don't forget, saying that hello, saying that smile, that hug, that kiss, it means everything. Now, instead of running to the door, perhaps you could walk to the door with a glass of wine or possibly a drink and welcome them that way. I'm sure they'd appreciate it. You see, Louis was really showing you the way to keep a marriage happy. Now, lesson 2 from Louis, have a short memory. Now, if you've ever yelled at Louis, I don't know, if I yell at other dogs, they cower, they think it's the worst, and, they've let you down and they're all depressed. Now, let's just say you left, you had to go to the store, and you came back. What happens? Louis sees you, and you are the greatest person in the world. He has totally forgot that he was yelled at only 20 minutes ago, and it just doesn't matter. In a marriage, it helps to have a little bit of a short memory. Now, I always warn people about that. You don't want to take that too far because even a dog has limits on how much they're going to forgive. But I think giving each other a break every so often to make a mistake is an important Louis lesson. Final lesson from Louis. Always be ready for an adventure. I would guess that if you said, hey, Louis, do you want to go for a fill in the blank? Louis is going to be coming with you. He has no idea where he's going, probably. He just jumps in the car and he's ready to take off. And to me, that's what marriage is. It's going together and looking for those newest adventures to take on. Be ready to find anything new. I know you're looking down the road on a new adventure of looking down as being a mother and a father. Now, that's a whole nother sermon. I don't have time for that. We're focused on the marriage right now. But that's what it's about. Continue to find those ways to look for new adventures, but more importantly, look for those new adventures together. Now, my final thoughts on wise Louis as a teacher. I wouldn't call it advice, but just an observation. Louis knows what's most important. When he's at home, when Louis is chilling, I think he chills sometimes, let's see. When Louis is chilling, There's only one thing that truly makes them happy, and that's just being around you both. Marriages that thrive, they appreciate the simple act of just being there for each other. It can be watching the television in silence. It can be enjoying a sunset. It can be playing a game. It can be enjoying an incredible day like this. But the key point is that you're content, you're happy just being there together. Brett and Lisabeth, I wish you continued happiness for years to come. Enjoy this day. Stick with Louis' advice, and you can make it for decades to come. All right. And now we come to the marriage vows that Lisabeth and Brett have written for each other. These are the words Lisabeth and Brett want to hear the most today. The words that take them across the threshold from being engaged to being married. A marriage, as most of us understand it, is a voluntary and full commitment. It is made in the deepest sense to the exclusion of all others, and it is entered into with the desire and hope that it will last for life.
Hi, how are you? Want to know how long I've been thinking about writing these vows? Pretty much since the moment I first met you. From that date at Tanner's nearly three years ago to this milestone of a day. What a ride it's truly been. I count my blessings every day that I was able to win over such an awesome, perfect, caring, loving, well-rounded girl. Thank you for taking a chance on me. There's times before I met you where I felt lost and incomplete. I always believed in love, but then with every heartache and failure, you kind of start to not stop believing that there's going to be this great love story out there. You start to question yourself, and it puts you in a depressive pit, and you think you're never going to get that break to get out of there. When I proposed to you on Skywheel at Myrtle Beach at sunset, I was unable to get out the words like I am right now, but I'm going to attempt my best to tell you why I loved you, still love you, and want to marry you and spend the rest of my life with you. First of all, I love the mother that you are to Louis and the future mother that you will be to our future children. I love that you're still the most beautiful girl anytime we walk in a room. I love that you're a bad dancer, equally as bad as I am. It makes it that much better. I love that how much you care about your profession, your students, and their well-being. It really hurts me that so many teachers go underappreciated because they, and especially you, deserve the world. I love that you still allow me to go out with the guys, understand my obsession with the Milwaukee Bucks and sports in general, whether it's playing or watching them. But over time, Saturdays no longer were for just the boys. They soon became about us. I love that you were still able to make time for me this year, even though you were drowning with a wedding to plan, teaching in an understaffed job, making a family-sized dinners for Louie every week, fixing up our first home together, and everything else that you had going on. Oh, and grad school. Your sacrifices that you make for Louie and I are so incomparable. You will forever be my best friend. You have my heart. This is because you're just not my great love story, Lisabeth Codenberg. You were my big break. I love the faith that you have in us. That same faith that is what kept us together through all the milestones and dead ends that we ran into along the way to get here. Through my faith in you and in us. Time out. I have some important promises to make to you, essentially signing my life away. And you know what? If it's timed up with you, I definitely already got the better end of this deal. I promise to be the man that you see in your eyes today, tomorrow, and for always. I promise to be there to catch you if you should stumble, carry you over every threshold, and fall in love with you each and every day through sickness and in health. I can't promise to love you perfectly, but I will promise to love you messily, overwhelmingly, and unconditionally. I promise to love our future children as much as you love Louie. When I'm with you, everything else moves into the background. You flood my senses. You are my life, my greatest gift, and soon to be my lovely life. To quote Jesse McCarty, my entire song, I don't want another pretty face. I don't want just anyone to hold. I don't want my love to go to waste. I want you and your beautiful soul. These are my vows. I promise to abide by them. I will love you forever and always, baby. Thank you for taking a chance on me. I love you. Good luck. Good luck. Sure.
What? Brett, when I first met you, I knew there was something special about you. Little did I know that one day I'd pledge myself to that goofy extrovert I met that hot July day. I guess people are right when they say opposites attract and that love is worth waiting for. The waiting was the hardest part. You came into my life when I least expected it. You brought me out of my bubble and showed me how to have fun and laugh again. For that, I can't thank you enough for. You knew that I came as a package with 6-month Louie, who was naughty as ever, but was and will always be my #1 boy. You welcomed a life of fur, slobber, and squeaker toys. Throughout the years, I watched your relationship grow. I saw the soft and nurturing side of you come out. You eventually accepted your defeat to Louie in your competition for my affection, attention, love, and leftovers. He became your #1. You are a wonderful father to Louie, and you are going to be a great dad to our future children. In you, I found my soulmate, my best friend, my lover, and my safe place. You are my love story, and our love story is just getting started. Saying I do means saying I will. I will love you today and every day for the rest of my life. You've changed the way I think about love. Things may not always be easy, but our love has always been worth it. I will support and encourage you. I will trust and respect you. I will create a home with you full of laughter and compassion. I will raise a family with you. I will share my dreams with you. I promise to love you in good times and in bad. When life seems easy and when it seems hard. When our love is simple and when it is an effort. I will always be honest, kind, patient, and forgiving with you. I promise to always stand by your side. These things I give you today and all the days of our lives. I love you.
We'll now move to the exchanging of wedding rings. Your wedding rings are the outward and visible sign of the inward and invisible bond which already unites your two hearts in love. Louie and Sam, would you please give Brett Lisabeth's ring? Very good. All right. All right. All right. Very good. Okay. Ooh. They're good ideas when they look pretty.
All right, here we go.
All right. Here, you got here. I'll take it. Very good. Perfect. All right. Brett, place the ring on Lisabeth's finger and repeat after me. I give you this ring.
I give you this ring.
Wear it with love and joy.
Wear it with love and joy.
As this ring has no end,
As this ring has no end,
my love is also forever.
my love is also forever.
All right. Thank you. Here's your. All right. Lisabeth, place the ring on Brett's finger and repeat after me. With this ring, I marry you. Wear this ring forever as a sign of my love. May the wedding rings you exchange today remind you always that you are surrounded by enduring love. Lisabeth and Brett, I offer these good wishes to you on this special day. May your life together be blessed with prosperity and good health. May you always share open and honest communication between each other. May you respect each other's individual talents and gifts and give full support to each other's professional and personal pursuits. May you cherish the home and the family you will create together. May all the years to come be filled with moments to celebrate and renew your love. And may your love be a lifelong source of excitement, contentment, affection, respect, and devotion for one another. And most importantly, may you both keep that faith in each other, that exact faith that is what brought you together, kept you together through the thick and thin, and will always be there for the two of you. Before we end this ceremony, one final request from the happy couple here. Just family will be sticking around for pictures, and everyone else can proceed back into the back in for the cocktails and hors d'oeuvres hour. There will not be a greeting line. All right. But in closing, I'm going to end this ceremony with a quote from Brett's favorite TV show, The Office. It's a quote from Jim Halpert in the second to the last episode of the series. It is the quote Brett has always turned to in times of frustration, trouble, and uncertainty. All I know is that every time I've been faced with a tough decision, there's only one thing that outweighs every other concern. One thing that will make you give up on everything you thought you knew, every instinct, every rational calculation. Love. No matter what happens, you gotta forget about all the other stuff. You gotta forget about logic and fear and doubt. You just gotta do everything you can to get to the one woman who's going to make all this worth it. At the end of the day, you gotta jump. Brett and Lisabeth, it's now time to jump. By the power vested in me, by the state of Wisconsin, it is my honor and delight to declare you husband and wife. Brett, you may now kiss the bride. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to present the newlyweds, Mr. Brett and Mrs. Lisabeth Ryan.
It's gonna take time, whole lot of precious time. It's gonna take patience and time to do it, 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 to do it right, child. I got my mind set on you. 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 And this time